Deep-fried foods such as French fries, fried chicken, onion rings, and countless other popular fast food and restaurant items have become deeply entrenched in modern food culture. Their crispy texture, golden brown appearance, and rich flavor make them irresistible to many, but these attributes come at a steep price to human health. What is often overlooked or deliberately ignored is that the very process of deep frying transforms otherwise benign ingredients into toxic, disease-promoting food items. With each bite, these foods deliver a harmful combination of trans fats, oxidized oils, and chemical byproducts that significantly increase the risk of cancer, heart disease, obesity, and systemic inflammation. Regular consumption of deep-fried foods is not just unhealthy, it is actively destructive, accelerating the progression of chronic illness and undermining the body's ability to protect and repair itself. One of the most insidious aspects of deep-fried food is the presence of trans fats. These fats are formed when vegetable oils are hydrogenated, a process that makes them solid or semi-solid at room temperature and increases their shelf stability. Though many countries have taken steps to reduce or eliminate trans fats from packaged foods, they can still be found in fried items, especially in restaurants or fast food chains that reuse oil multiple times. Even when not intentionally added, trans fats can form spontaneously in the frying process, especially when oils are heated to high temperatures repeatedly. Trans fats are among the most dangerous substances in the modern diet. They increase LDL, bad cholesterol, decrease HDL, good cholesterol, and promote systemic inflammation, all of which are direct risk factors for coronary artery disease and heart attacks. The body does not have a safe level of trans fat intake. Every gram consumed increases cardiovascular risk. But trans fats are not the only toxic element in fried foods. The high-heat frying process also produces acrylamide, a chemical compound formed when starchy foods like potatoes are cooked at high temperatures. Acrylamide is a known neurotoxin and a probable human carcinogen. Studies in animals have shown that it causes DNA mutations and tumor growth. In humans, elevated dietary acrylamide intake has been associated with increased risk of cancers, particularly of the colon, kidney, and endometrium. French fries and potato chips are among the highest dietary sources of acrylamide. The longer and hotter the frying process, the more acrylamide is formed, meaning that extra crispy or double-fried foods are often the most contaminated. The danger of fried foods is amplified by the type and condition of the oil used. Vegetable oils commonly used in deep frying, like soybean, canola, corn, or sunflower oil, are high in omega-6 polyunsaturated fats, which are prone to oxidation under high heat. When repeatedly heated, as is often the case in restaurant fryers, these oils break down into harmful compounds such as aldehydes and lipid peroxides. These byproducts have been shown to cause oxidative stress at the cellular level, damaging DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. This kind of oxidative damage is a key contributor to aging, cancer, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, and chronic inflammation. Moreover, deep-fried foods are extremely calorie-dense. The frying process increases the fat content of food dramatically, with some items absorbing up to 40% of their weight in oil. This makes portion sizes misleading. A small serving of French fries may contain as many calories as a full meal, but with none of the necessary fiber, vitamins, or phytonutrients. The body is left overfed in calories, but undernourished in every other respect, a key feature of what is now widely referred to as malnutrition of affluence. Regular consumption of deep-fried foods leads predictably to weight gain, especially visceral fat, the dangerous type that surrounds internal organs and promotes hormonal imbalances, insulin resistance, and inflammation. In fact, the connection between fried foods and type 2 diabetes is increasingly clear. The combination of refined carbohydrates, oxidized fats, and acrylamide not only worsens insulin sensitivity, but also impairs glucose metabolism at the cellular level. People who consume fried foods 4 or more times per week have been shown in multiple studies to have a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes than those who eat them infrequently. This association remains even after controlling for total calorie intake, suggesting that the method of cooking itself plays a central role in disease development. Digestive health also suffers under the weight of fried foods. The heavy fat content slows gastric emptying and places stress on the pancreas and gallbladder. For those with digestive disorders like irritable bowel syndrome or gallstones, fried foods can trigger acute flare-ups. Even in otherwise healthy individuals, frequent intake of these foods can alter the composition of gut microbiota in damaging ways, fostering the growth of inflammatory and pathogenic bacteria. There is also a profound link between fried food consumption and mental health disorders. Diets high in fried and processed foods are associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. Chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, the very conditions promoted by repeated fried food intake, are now understood to play major roles in the development of neurodegenerative diseases and mood disorders. The brain, composed largely of fatty acids and sensitive neural tissue, is especially vulnerable to damage from trans fats and oxidized oils. Children and adolescents are particularly at risk. These age groups are often the primary consumers of fried snacks, chicken nuggets, and French fries. The long-term consequences of regular exposure at a young age include stunted metabolic function, early-onset obesity, hormonal disruption, and behavioral issues. The normalization of fried foods in school cafeterias, fast food meals, and family routines ensures that the damage starts early and accumulates throughout life. What begins as a childhood treat quickly becomes a lifelong dietary trap. The commercial food industry continues to push deep-fried options aggressively, aided by flavor chemists and marketing tactics that hide the reality of what's being consumed. The golden crunch and savory smell are carefully engineered to evoke addiction-like pleasure responses in the brain, reinforcing habitual consumption. But these momentary sensory rewards are bought with a long-term cost, one measured in years of diminished health, chronic pain, and premature aging. In conclusion, deep-fried foods are among the most harmful dietary choices available. They are not occasional indulgences with minor consequences. They are a major, direct contributor to some of the most devastating diseases of our time. The combination of toxic fats, carcinogenic compounds, extreme calorie density, and nutrient void makes them uniquely dangerous. Reducing or eliminating them from your diet is not just advisable, it is essential for anyone seeking to protect their health, extend their life, and reduce their risk of suffering from chronic illness. The danger is not abstract. It is real, it is cumulative, and it is largely preventable. The sooner these foods are recognized for what they truly are, disease-promoting industrial products masquerading as food, the sooner we can begin to reverse their toxic impact on public health.